All right. Hello, everybody. My name is John Temmen. Some of you have seen me walking around the halls. You've maybe had a class with me last semester. And so I'm here to tell you who I am and what I'm researching and how we got there and why I'm doing it. All right. So, before we get started, I'm going to take you on this kind of wild journey I've been on thus far in my life. Started with my humble beginnings here in Huntsville, Alabama. I graduated high school and immediately joined the United States Air Force right out of high school. That took me on a wild journey to basic training in San Antonio, Texas. I did survival training up in Washington, learned how to survive in the water in Florida, and then eventually to Little Rock, Arkansas, where they taught me how to be a loadmaster on C-130s. And I'll get to that. After my formal training, technical training, I was stationed in Ramstein Air Base, Germany, where I flew on that magnificent bird right there, the C-130J Super Hercules. So I flew in the back, I was air crew, did that. Within my first year, I'd seen 20 countries. By the time I left Germany, I'd been to over 30 countries, both for pleasure and for work, mostly within Europe and Africa. And then I decided, this Air Force life, it's not for me. It's been fun. I met a lot of great friends. Saw a lot of good examples of what leadership is or should be or should not be. And then I decided I wanted to get educated, but I kind of liked flying, so I thought, well, maybe I'll just join the Air Force Reserve, do my 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year, and fly on older model C-130s. And I did that first in North Carolina. A little bit of a turbulent time in my life. I showed up and they said, this base is getting shut down, so kid, you need to find a new home. Around that time, I got hired by Delta Airlines as a flight attendant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so after 2 months training in College Park, Atlanta, just south of, College Park, Atlanta, I ended up getting based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, working for Delta. So I was still in the Air Force Reserve, and I was a flight attendant full-time for Delta Airlines. Learned a lot about people, taught me a lot of how to interact with people, how people kind of navigate the travel process. It also gave me an opportunity. Before joining the Air Force, I had never really seen much of the continental United States. So in the Air Force, I got this opportunity to go to all these countries, interact with different people, but I'd never really seen much of the United States, and Delta afforded me that opportunity. So now I think there's probably less than 10 states I haven't been to, including Hawaii and Alaska, so I'm very thankful for that opportunity. They could have paid me marginally more, but we're not going to talk about that. After that, I got accepted to the University of Minnesota. Hey, Golden Gophers. I decided then I wanted to go to college full-time and not be a flight attendant. And then eventually I decided I didn't want to be in the reserves anymore, so I was a Golden Gopher full-time. And then after that, I kind of had this moment where I was like, what do I want to do after I graduate, right? I have to go back and do something after I graduate college. I decided I love the academic environment, so I applied to grad schools, and I visited Ohio State, and that's the one that stuck. So here we are. All right, so that is my crazy life story, just a synopsis of it, all the places I've been to, actually lived, and where I'm at now. So, oh man, there's two pictures that aren't there, but they're supposed to be there. One's me eating a bunch of hot wings. Just know that's my favorite food. I forget what the other one is. Obviously, it's not important. But so I have like a very wide variety of interests. So deciding on what I wanted to do has actually always been challenging because I could see myself being happy doing a myriad of things, right? I love foreign languages. I love tea. I love traveling around the world, and I included one with the sextant because that's my newest hobby, is learning how to navigate with a sextant. It's been it's been pretty cloudy. You need a clear sky. So it's not going terribly well right now, but I'll keep you posted. So I've had this wide variety of interests, so deciding what I wanted to do was actually kind of difficult. But I stumbled into this research problem, which is, how did sweet potatoes get from South America to the Pacific? So the thing is, we don't really know how that happened. Sweet potatoes are originally from Central and South America, and 1,000 years ago they arrived in Polynesia. This is before European contact. So what my research does is I'm working with Dr. Montenegro, mostly in MATLAB, to create an oceanic drift model that will describe if seeds could have drifted to these islands and the time it would have taken. And to complement that experiment, we're actually doing an actual experiment in the basement, as Jens already knows, where we have tubs of salt water, and we are going to soak sweet potato seeds over the semester just to see if they can remain viable after so many days at sea. And what that will do is that's new empirical evidence. Nobody has ever, surprise, no one has ever soaked sweet potato seeds in salt water. It's never happened. So we're going to do that, see if they remain viable, and if they do, that is new evidence for the literature. If they don't, that kind of reinforces the popular theory in anthropology that humans must have had some sort of exchange with South America. But there's no archaeological evidence to back that theory.
Yeah, so just wrap up. I'm
Okay.
not going to pull the curtain.
Gotcha. All right. And I just want to go over some inspiration. Obviously, like I've done a lot of different things in my life, but where I've always found myself happiest is the academic environment. As you can see in these pictures, there was no famous potatoes in history that gave me my inspiration. But there's that guy that I'm working pretty close with. And there's me. I've always loved teaching. So, all right. Thank you.